Hey guys, this is a little video on how to feed my fish. Thank you guys so much for your help. I'm trying to make this quick. It should only take you about 10, 15 minutes at tops. Grab you a drink and have a view and enjoy. So we'll get started. Step 1. Alright, we are going to remove the hood cover and open the doors. So hood cover was up here. We took that off. I normally stand it up by the bar, just leaning against the chair. And then open the doors. You can also open the one to the left here as well. That'll help with the next step. So, alright, step 2, we are going to turn off the master or main feed switch, which is the gray box. Look at it right here. Zoom in. Right here it says turn off for feeding. Pretty simple. Boom. And that's going to kill every one of the lights here on the bottom row. You see, I'll turn it back on. It'll kill everything on the bottom row. The top row will remain lit up. You don't have to do anything with that, truly. Top row, if you want to, there is a overhead light, which is number 1, which will turn that off or on if you want to see. Other than that, just leave it. Everything else the same. So, kill that. What that's going to do is stop our circulation pumps, as well as our main pump. And what you just heard there is the water running down. Sounds like a toilet flush, perfectly normal. And it'll go down until it breaks the siphon of the main pump return plumbing. It may make another noise, but as you see, the water line will drop here just a little bit, and then it'll remain constant there during your feeding. Alright guys, step 3, we're going to fill up the small condiment cup right here. They are located beside the sink on the countertop in a little green tray. Basically, we're just going to fill that halfway up with water from the aquarium. I prefer the sump, which is the aquarium basically down underneath the stand. And we're going to get that from beside the skimmer. Excuse me 1 second. So somebody's texting. So I always like to come in this door. The skimmer's the big tube looking thing that blows bubbles. So it's just easier to access it from this side. We're going to fill it up about halfway. Awesome. Good job. Alright, step 4, we're going to add a pinch from the large fish food, the Thera A, and then we're going to take a fraction of a spoonful from either the green top or the blue top Omega 1. I tend to just go back and forth. So we'll show you a spoon feeder here. I mean, I do very, very small amount. Maybe that much at the most. So, alright, we're going to go ahead and put that into our cup. I don't know where I put it at, but put it back into the condiment cup and let it serve for about a minute to absorb some of the water. That'll help it sink. Alright, step 5, we are going to squeeze water with the food into the syringe, labeled food, which is located, here it is right here, it's located over near the sink, just above my little test kits, which are in a black box, which is located right beside where you got this cup from. So we're going to take the food and water, which has been sitting in here for about a minute, and we're going to squeeze that up into the syringe, and then we're going to squirt that into the aquarium. And basically, you can go ahead and fill the syringe up if you want. The key is to only squirt a little bit at a time. I normally feed them from this area because we do have some other critters that live under this rock, so that'll give them an opportunity. But the key is to only give them as much as they'll eat before they'll hit the sand bed. If some does get to the sand bed, not a problem. All the hermit crabs will come out and eat it. But you want the majority of the fish to eat it. Another trick is you see, I just give them a little bit at a time. And no need to rush it, but if it does get caught in the syringe, you can pull it back up and that'll create some turbulence, as you see there. And that'll get the food circulating around, and that'll help it go out. You don't really want to smash the food down once it gets to the bottom. And then you just feed them all that food. And then the next step, we'll show you right here. I'll make it on the sign as well. So guys, first off I'll state that just previously I was feeding them pretty quick just for example's sake. take your time with it. Again, only feed them a little squirt at a time to give them a chance to eat it before it falls down. So I was going really quick just to let you know. Step 6 here is to feed, again, only what they will eat. It's better to feed them not enough than too much. So if they start losing interest and the food's falling down to the bottom, go ahead and stop feeding them. Just throw the rest out into the sink. Not a big deal. What we're going to do once they've you've completed the feed with them, we're going to go ahead and hit the stop button on the timer. So it's already set for 5 minutes. Here it is right here. We'll just leave it on the corner of the aquarium. Start button's on the right. We'll just hit start, and that'll start our 5-minute countdown. What that's going to do is the food that the fish didn't eat, that's resting on the bottom, it'll give 5 minutes for all the critters on the bottom to run around and get their fill before we do the next step. Alright, step 7. We're going to rinse out our little cup. Don't use any soap. Please don't use any soap. No soap ever with anything with the aquarium. It can actually kill the creatures inside. So we're just going to rinse it out. Dump the food that they don't eat if there is any left. If they, I wouldn't feed them any more than you put in there. But if there is some extra that they didn't eat, just go ahead and throw it away. It's definitely better to feed them less than more. And then we're going to go ahead and turn off the switches for number 1, 2, and 6 on our bottom DJ strip or switch panel. So here's our little switch panel. I'm going to turn off 1, 2, and 6. So return pump is 1, skimmer is 2, and 6 is Autotop Off. Right now everything is unlit. You'll see 3, 4, and 5, which are our flows, left flow, right flow, and rear flow, are going to remain on right now. Alright, step 8. We're going to go ahead and turn the master feed switch back on and reset the timer to give us another 5 minutes. So, master feed switch back on. What that's going to do is just turn on our circulating pumps inside. So you see 3, 4, 5 lit up. That's just circulating the water in there. We've given it 5 minutes to let the critters on the bottom eat. Now we're going to move it back around to give the fish some extra time to eat what they may have missed before we go ahead and start circulating it through. We're also going to hit, this thing should be going off, beep, 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 beep. We're going to hit start, the stop start button. That'll stop the beeping. And then we're going to start the 5 minutes again. And after this 5 minutes, we're going to go ahead and sequence and turn these switches back on. We're almost done. Alright, step 9. We're going to go ahead and turn number 1 switch on, which is the return pump. And that's going to start pumping out. Usually you see some bubbles come out of the top. Return pump pumping. And our level down here will begin to drop. Now, one quick tip is if this does drop really slowly and it doesn't go down, it'll get down to this level where the first chamber and the second chamber are equalized. And sometimes it'll get really, really slow before it makes this last couple inches. A good thing to do, and it'll probably have some air in here now, it's probably some air in the return pump. If you just turn it off and back on, you usually kick the extra little air out of there. So again, we're just turning the master switch return pump number 1 on, and that's going to bring our levels down. Alright, step 10, I promise we're almost done here. We're going to go ahead, once the level in chamber 1 and chamber 2, chamber 1 is our skimmer section right here. So we got the big ass skimmer, the chamber. When this water level equals the water level over here, we'll go ahead, or less, it doesn't matter. We'll go ahead and turn switch 2 on, and that'll bring on the skimmer. The reason we wait is because if the water level over here is pretty high, it may overflow. It's not the end of the world if you do forget that, but it does get a little messy. So I always just wait until we get down to this level here. This water level is either equal or less than, because the pump is starting to pump it out, and then we'll turn that on. We'll also go ahead and turn on our Autotop Off switch, so number 6. Alright, so now we're at step 11. Kind of redundant. We're going to turn back on the Autotop Off switch, and I'm just going to show you what happens. Once we turn that on, there's going to be some water that comes out of the tubing. Well, first the beep will go off, then some water will come out of the tubing, and it should only remain on for 30 seconds. So here we go. I'll show you what's going to happen. We've got our Autotop Off switch. beep. There it goes. Here's the tube behind the skimmer. I'll also lead you around. And as you can see, it pours out, and I've got an angle to go right into the sock. So let's here to watch. There's the controller for you. It says the pump is on. Green light there. You'll see the water go off. Like I said, about 30 seconds. We'll let it do its thing. If it does not go off, turn the switch off and call me. It can definitely, it'll lower the salinity and it's gonna start killing stuff. So as you see, it went off. It says the pump is off and the level is green. So we're good. Awesome. Alright guys, last step here, step 12. We're just going to button everything up. We're going to put the hood cover back on up top. We're going to close the doors. If you did turn on the light down here, as you can see I have the light on, we're going to turn off the overhead light switch on the top switch, so that just kills that light. We're going to close everything. This one will close first. It does have a little lip there. Close that up and all the way shut. Close this side. Grab the hood, we had laying up against the bar stool, and basically we just put it on the lip. It should fit in between either side, and it should be a nice, confident magnetic click there. And as you can see, everything will line up, so it should fit pretty good. Sometimes you have to wiggle it just to make sure it fits. All right, guys, last thing. You did an awesome job. Just make sure everything's working. So we've got our circulation pumps. They do come on intermittently and turn off. That creates the flow, but just make sure those are coming on and going off. Our water line is raised back up to the top, which means our return pump is pumping it back in. Over here on the side, this will have drained down while you had the return pump off and while feeding. When you turn the return pump back on, it should raise up and should be at a level. There's a black tube back there that it's just above it and siphoning down into that. Down beneath here, our skimmer's on. Our center chamber here has got a water level that's appropriate within our water line. And you know, all our switches down here are lit up. If you could, just make note of what the temperature. It should be around 78, 79 point, I'd say 3 or 4 at the very highest. And we want to see this pH, or the number on the bottom, a little higher than 7.9. Usually 8 to 8.15 is where it hangs out. So anything without that, if you could let me know, I appreciate it. But you guys rock. Man, y'all are so awesome for helping me out while I'm out on the trail. I can't thank you enough. And I can't wait to see you. I love all y'all. And again, I really, really appreciate it. Thanks again.